The next generation NASCAR is officially here. It is an EV SUV. What do you guys think about the roaring V8 coming to an end? Let's get into it. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. It is your boy Javi here. I first wanted to tell you or thank you guys for tuning in and subscribing. We're almost at 13,000 subscribers, so let's get into it real quick. So the next generation NASCAR is officially moving away from that rumbling V8 that we all love. I am a huge fan of NASCAR. I'm a huge fan of vintage, anything that has to do with NASCAR. I love it. I love it all. But the next generation Cup race car, it is an EV. Like I said, we are moving from that roaring or that rumbling V8, and we're moving into an EV SUV, as you heard it right. So we have the article here. We're going to go over the article. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to give you my opinion on what's happening with NASCAR, but the next generation is officially here. And what was once rumor just about 2 years ago is actually starting to take shape in reality. So this is what's been happening. Let's go over the article and I'll give you my opinion. So initially the rumor was that we see this EV by like late 2023, but in the 2024 Busch Light Clash, obviously there was a delay, but with no doubt the serious prototype, just as we saw in the development of this Gen 7 car, we must imagine that the goal was to remain the same. It obviously wasn't, because they moved into EV and into an SUV vehicle. Be as fast as the current car and last for at least 30-minute run for the first place. With the way Formula E has progressed, these goals shouldn't be that hard to hit. Now, I want to see what the pit area is going to look like with an EV. Change your tires, charge your battery. How fast can you give it a rapid charge? Now, we do have this picture up here, which is a side view of it, of what we see. I think it looks cool. I think it actually looks pretty cool. I love the way like the wheels look, everything, the Goodyear, the sign. I love the car itself. It looks amazing. I see that we have a small wing on top, like a little deck lip. We have a huge wing on the back. If we look at another picture here, we look at a back picture of it. I think it looks very, very cool. It gives it a new future motoristic look to NASCAR. Now, the whole problem with EV, I'm not a fan of EV. It could be affected to some things, to some people, to some categories. I am not a fan of it. I think, again, what made us fall in love with NASCAR was that rumbling V8 going down the track in the oval. I just think it was what captured us and made us love NASCAR. Now we're moving to EV. So now we're looking at a very quiet race. So let's continue with the article. The EV prototype is built with a partnership with ABB, which also includes additional carbon reduction plans for the series called NASCAR Impact. For now, we're just focusing on the details of the car itself, or rather the CUV. One part of the 2-year-old rumor was that use of the vehicles like Chevrolet Blazer EV, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Toyota BZ4X for the bodies of the CV, and the generation crossover body proves this to be true, of course, because the normal thing to use an example. You have NASCAR back in the days, they used the Lumina, the Monte Carlo, and then you saw Mustang. Those were some of the vehicle bodies that were used in NASCAR. Now if you're moving to EV, the logical thing would be to use the Blazer EV, the Mustang Mach-E, and hence why you would be an SUV. In this case, they're calling it CUV. Flax fiber has become a readable, available, and sustainable alternative to the carbon fiber, with only a minor weight penalty over carbon, and it's made from fibers for its namesake plant. I don't think you could get any lighter than carbon fiber, to be honest with me, but then again, I could be wrong. Another distinct feature that makes the CUV body different is the return of the wing. It does have a huge wing. We haven't seen NASCAR sport a huge wing. Last night I was actually watching a video from Richard Petty, his Daytona, which is amazing. And obviously the Daytona has a huge wing in the back, but we see the return of the wing now, a feature that we haven't seen in NASCAR since the era of 2007, ending in the early 2010. The COT would last much longer, but went back to the spoiler at that point. There's also lighting features on the prototype. There's a few lighting, and we're gonna look into it. If we see this front end picture here, we see some LED strips. We see like the front badge there of NASCAR, and we see it on the side. I see that automotive kind of combines LED with like EV. You see a lot of LEDs on a vehicle. That's an EV vehicle. That's something that I been kind of seen as a pattern, but there are some fuel vehicles, gas vehicles that do have EV. But it would make sense that if you do have an EV NASCAR, to get some impact and some show and stuff like that, you put some extra lighting So, however, that green light at the base of the windshield might be something that remains indicating when the EV's power on or not, which is that green center light in the middle. Yeah, that would make sense. Underneath, the CUV body is an unmodified Gen 7 chassis, which includes the steering system, suspension, brakes, and wheels. What's the difference in tires, which are the brand new Goodyear Racing Eagle tires mounted to a single lug nut. So it is a lock nut, single one. Required because of several unit features of the EV prototype. For one, the EV is an all-wheel drive, much like the top spec version of those 4 Chevrolet Toyota's EVs mentioned earlier. A single motor would drive the front wheel, while a pair will drive the rear wheels for a tri-motor setup. So now we know it's going to have 3 motors and an all-wheel drive. It makes it hella powerful. It makes about 1,300 horsepower, which is insane. Now, is it going to be stupid quick? It absolutely is going to be stupid quick. We see it on the video here how fast it is, but it is exactly going to be up to 1,341 horsepower that can be tuned to suit the next needs of the track and the driver. These motors will be powered by a 78 kilo kWh battery that will also feature liquid cooling, which will help handle the immense heat generated by that much power output. But it could also open these EVs to the same future pit charging that we are expecting for the Formula E to debut soon. So yeah, now the pit has to completely change. Now the car is coming in, you're changing tire, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you're also now charging the vehicles. My main thing with this is, and God forbid this ever happens, is that one of these vehicle catches on fire. If one of these vehicles catches on fire, a battery fire, it's not something that's easy to put out. Now, of course, there are going to be crazy safety regulations, and NASCAR and everyone else is going to be prepared for it. But when you have a vehicle that is a battery power and a EV, and they catch on fire, it is very, very hard to put out. So here we have a front end picture of what the suspension is. So we have the upper control arm, like always, damper, toe links, lower control arms, front upright assembly, anti-roll bar, anchorman bracket. So it kind of remains the same. We have some layouts of here of what the body will look like. A lot of roll cage, of course, where the batteries would sit. It is, I think, is actually a pretty cool car. I'm not gonna say it's not. Now, do I think that it is the right thing that NASCAR would do? Well, the problem is that yet again, we NASCAR drivers love that. We NASCAR fans, not drivers, I wish I was a NASCAR driver. We NASCAR fans love that roaring V8, and it actually covers it here in the article. So for those worried that this spells the doom for the roaring V8 that currently runs in the top Cup series and potentially any of the rest of the NASCAR series below, you don't have anything to worry about, at least for the moment. NASCAR has stated that it will remain committed to running V8s due to the configuration history within the series. It's also likely this prototype will take some additional time to develop through testing occur while before this debut. The Gen 7 car initially took 4 years before it became a competitive vehicle. So don't expect a quick rollout of the EV either. Now, it is already here. It is here. We can see it. We see it on the videos. We see it on the picture. Now, what happens next is that I think that there's going to be certain teams in NASCAR that are going to acquire this vehicle, and we're going to start seeing it go down the track competing with the V8s. And at some point, there is going to be a switch over. It also says that it's not the end of the V8 and NASCAR, but this might be a signal that the electrification will be coming to the Cup Series sooner than later. It's what I said, especially with the debut of the hybrid in Indy cars the very same weekend. So yeah, Indy cars have a hybrid. You take off an electric and then all of a sudden the gas one turns on. And this is something that NASCAR could also adapt, but you're going to start seeing this car roll out. You're going to start seeing different teams using it because ABB and the people who are making this vehicle are going to be partnering up with different teams for sure. And you're going to see this vehicle go down the track and be running with the V8s. So anyways, that's a little bit of the article. There's really not much to cover up on it other than it has 3 motors, 1,300 horsepower, V8 4-wheel drive. And I think it actually looks pretty cool. I think the pictures of it serve justice. I think they did a very well creation on it. I mean, they did very good creating the vehicle. I like it. The part that I don't like is the EV part and the whole electrical stuff. If you would have told me this was the next gen NASCAR, still keeping the V8, I would have loved it. I would have been a happy camper. I would have been dancing. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. Remember to leave me a comment. What do you guys think? Give me your opinion. I'll see you on the next one. Your boy is out.